Ooh, man. SummerSlam Night 2. Do we got some stuff to talk about? So I saw on a Facebook post earlier, somebody was like, how do they top Night 1? And I'm sitting here thinking, Night 1 was just a little bit over average in my opinion. It was fun, it was entertaining, but it wasn't nothing really worth bragging about. Night 2, we need to talk. And talk about an awesome show. Night 2, I mean, if you were going to buy a ticket to one of these shows, Night 2 was definitely the night to be there. So I'm going to jump right into it. We start off with our normal singing of the national anthem and the introduction package and all that. And we go on to our first match. It is the Triple Threat Women's World Championship match where the champion Naomi defends against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match. Where do we begin here? Well, first let's start with the cool outfits that I mean, Naomi's was, I feel like I've seen Naomi wear the one that she had on tonight before, but Io was killing it with that look. Had the nice little matching hairpiece, nice little color attire. Io Sky looked very good tonight, as did the other two ladies, but I feel like Io came out with the attire that she doesn't normally do, and it worked. Io Sky is amazing. That woman never disappoints in anything. So, as far as the match, I should probably mention Naomi's entrance. That was actually Naomi's father on the guitar for her entrance tonight. And I thought that was pretty cool, you know, something a little different. Nice little entrance from Naomi. With Rhea, we got her usual entrance with her singing her own theme. I don't really like when the wrestlers do that, but you know, it is what it is. Trying to think of some of the best spots here in this match tonight. No, we saw a pretty good powerbomb spot tonight from Io Sky, where she actually powerbombed Rhea Ripley onto Naomi. This was a outside of the ring spot. This spot was very well done. Looked very safe, but very effective. Io hits a Asai moonsault, which connects to both Naomi and Rhea Ripley to the outside. That was a nice little spot too. Io takes some risks, man. Sometimes it looks like she's gonna botch it, and most of the time she pulls it off. And speaking of botches, there were a couple slips here tonight from Io. I think they were mostly like spots where she got on like the top rope or something. Rope got a little jiggly, but no botches. Just a little sloppy, but no botches. Trying to think of some more spots here. Actually, there was a top rope spot too, I believe Io was a little slippy on. I think maybe Rhea might have made the save on that one there. Believe we got a riptide spot. I think Rhea hit the riptide on Naomi, which that pin was broken up by Io. I believe there was a finisher spot from Naomi, that moonsault. I believe that was just kicked out of by Rhea. And I also believe there was a over the moon salt finishing move from Io. That's her finisher. And I believe that pin was also broken up by Naomi. My problem with this finish, I mean, the match itself was really good, but we've seen this finish a million times. One person hits their finisher, the other person rolls in and sneaks up, does like a cradle pin or something. So Rhea Ripley hits a riptide, and Naomi sneaks in, does a roll up after Rhea Ripley hits the riptide on Io Sky. 1, 2, 3. Naomi retains. And that was my prediction that Naomi would retain. with that exact same finish. So that was kind of an easy match to call, but nonetheless, the match was fun. I give this match a solid 4 out of 5. These women did their thing tonight, and I thought it was a great way to open the show. Then we go on to match 2, which was the ladder match for the Tag Team Championships. That match involved, I believe it involved DIY. We had Andretti and Ray Phoenix. Of course, we had our Tag Team Champions, the Wyatt Six, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. And I believe that was all of our teams involved. This match definitely had some high spots. There was an insane Spanish Fly spot in this match that Angelo Dawkins actually took. He took a Spanish Fly to the outside of the ring through a table. That was a scary spot. But man, Angelo Dawkins, man, got to say you're a beast for taking that bump. We had a spot where Montez Ford flips over the table onto both members of Fraxium. Actually, that's the other team I forgot to mention was Fraxium. But yeah, Montez did a flip over the table onto both members of Fraxium to the outside. That was another decent spot here. We saw a spot where Joe Gacy actually tried to do a back body drop. And I believe the person taking the back body drop, I believe it might have been, I think it might have been Gargano taking the spot, but he completely missed the ladder, which he was supposed to hit, take the bump into, and he completely missed it. We saw a pretty sick Johnny Gargano apron DDT through the table. That was a very nice spot. Ray Phoenix hits a frog splash onto the outside through a table. Got a lot of spots in here that happen outside of the ring. Like one person will be in the ring and the opponent will take the bump on the outside through a table. You got a lot of spots like that. But I do have to say the best spot in this match was the Axiom's Spanish Fly bump that Angelo Dawkins took. Also, Candice LeRae came into this match and attempted to grab the Tag Team Championships, but she was shoved off the ladder and she ended up taking a bump to the outside through a big ladder. So yeah, Candice LeRae got in there and took a bump even. Nikki Cross and them came in there, did some stuff too, but it was really nothing worth bragging about. Nothing brutal, nothing like that. Uncle Howdy, though. Uncle Howdy came in here and got involved. He ended up taking a, what do they call that flip power bomb? It's like a sunset flip power bomb onto another ladder. There were a lot of spots where it was either through a ladder or through a table. But Uncle Howdy took this one. This one caused enough of a distraction for the Wyatt Six members to actually take out DIY with the table bump. And also allowed them to take out everybody else in the match, which allowed Joe Gacy to climb up and retrieve the Tag Team Championships, and the Wyatt Six retain the Tag Team Championships, and that was my prediction that the Wyatt Six would win. This was a pretty good ladder match here. I'm also going to give this match 4 out of 5 stars. Thought it was a really nice match. You know, ladder matches are really just spot fest. You're not going to see like a whole lot of actual like tie-ups and stuff like that. So it's more or less a spot fest, and it did what it needed to do. Even people that weren't involved in the match came in and took some pretty nasty bumps. So it was a fun little match. I believe our next match is I think it's Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch debuted some new theme music. I don't really know if I'm feeling it yet because it usually takes me a couple of listens to know if I'm really feeling a new theme song or not, but it was time for her to switch this up. I was getting a little sick of the other one. Let's see here. I know we had a spot in this match where Lyra accidentally hits the cameraman and actually tells him that she's sorry. It's a funny little spot there. I don't even think the cameraman even paid too much attention to it. I know we had a spot where Lyra Valkyria's hands were tied, and she still ends up hitting a moonsault from the corner. That was kind of a cool spot there. There was also a spot here where Lyra, she might have slid under the ring, and then as Becky, like, you know, when they look under the ring for the opponent, and then she got sprayed with the fire extinguisher. They'd like to do this spot a lot. I feel like this happens in all like no DQ matches or street fights. This is like a typical spot here. One very cool spot in this match was when Lyra Valkyria hit the Nightwing off of the steel steps onto the floor. That was a nice little spot. Some good back and forth action here in this match. We also saw a manhandle slam from Becky Lynch onto 2 chairs, but Lyra Valkyria still kicked out. This match was going back and forth, but the minute we saw Bayley come into play, I kind of knew what the finish was going to be. Now, I actually thought Bayley was going to take that crowbar and hit Lyra with it when Lyra was trapped in that chair, like in that little spot that The Undertaker used to give to everybody. But no, this actually just turned into a fight between Bayley and Becky, which eventually Becky got the upper hand, throwing Bayley into the corner. So then we get back into the match with Becky and Lyra into the ring, going kind of back and forth. I think Becky might have hit one more manhandle slam here. This eventually Bayley gets back in here, but she accidentally hits Lyra with the shot, and then we get a regular manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3. Now you telling me after all that, all it took was a regular manhandle slam? I did have a little problem with the finish. But, I mean, Lyra and Becky, they've been delivering on their matches. So I'm not going to really knock a point for that one there. This match I'm also going to give... Actually, I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. This one was just under 4 stars. I can't put this above the first 2 matches. At least not with that finish. So I think that stipulation is that Lyra can no longer challenge for the Intercontinental Championship as long as Becky is champion. So I'm thinking maybe it's probably time to put that title on Bayley, and Bayley gets her win back from Lyra in a match with Lyra for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Because you got to start giving Bayley some of her wins back. She ain't really been doing really much of nothing since this whole triple threat feud has been going. Bayley's been the weak link out of this, and it can't be that way. Bayley's way too good of a worker. Our next match is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. This match here is probably easily my least favorite match so far. Jacob did come out with some pretty cool attire, though. He had a nice little wolf mask on. Solo kind of had some, like a tribal, it almost looked like a tribal belt around his ring shorts, which I thought was kind of cool, too. You know, I like the theme song of both these guys. But, you know, with this story build up, I already knew where we were going with this match, honestly. Some spots I got to think of here. I know Jacob did 2 of his moonsaults, his finisher moonsaults. But the problem with that is they had Solo kick out. And I really thought that made Jacob look like a bitch. I don't know why they went this route. That should have been when... the Bloodline ran in my opinion. That should have been when the Bloodline ran in to make that save. Yet having Solo kick out of 2 of them, I don't know if that did Jacob Fatu any favors. Especially not with what this finish was. I know we had a spot where when the Bloodline came down, Tala Tonga actually handcuffed Jacob Fatu to the cage so that Solo could escape through the door. I called the spot where Jacob Fatu was going to break those cuffs, which he did. And he went after Solo. I think there was another distraction spot where Solo hit the Samoan spike. And I think Jacob, yes, and this is when Solo tries to go out the door again. Jacob actually catches him, grabs him, brings him back in, and gives him a few shots. But then we get Tala Tonga kicking the door into Jacob Fatu's face. This is what gives Solo time to get out of the cage. And this is how we go home from this match. Solo Sikoa retains the United States Championship. I hated this finish. It should have taken way more than that to stop Jacob from doing this. I don't think this match did Jacob Fatu any favors. Now, the thing is with the cage match, you knew there was going to be a spot in here where Jacob had to hit that moonsault from the top of the cage. The thing is, it didn't happen till the end. Jimmy came out. Well, Jimmy was already out there, actually, earlier in the match. But Jimmy helped Jacob take out some members of the bloodline. Not Solo, of course, because Solo was smart enough to get the hell out of there. But we get a spot where Jacob climbs to the very top of the cage and hits a moonsault on, I believe it was Tongaloa and Talatonga. I think were the two that took that bump. This match wasn't nothing special. Honestly, I think I got to give this match a 2.5 out of 5. This match was just mid, in my opinion, and it really didn't do either one of these guys any favors. So, this has been my least favorite match so far. Next match, we got Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Got a really cool intro from AJ Styles, where AJ Styles comes out and pays tribute to Eddie. He comes out in the lowrider. Actually comes out in some gear, like Eddie Guerrero, but it says Styles on the back. So that was kind of cool to see. Now, one of the problems I did have with this match, though, I thought there was way too many Eddie shout-outs in this match. I don't really like when they do that. I get the respect thing. They even copied like all the stuff Eddie did where he would like cheat to win, faking like somebody hit him with a chair. They did that spot. Now, I did like the fact that AJ played into it and like laid down as if, so that way he confused the ref to where he couldn't disqualify anybody. So I did like that spot. We got a few decent moves from Dominic here. We got a cool Michinoku driver from Dominic. I believe Dominic hit a 619. I believe he did his Three Amigos spot. AJ got a calf crusher in from when Dominic went up for a frog splash, actually, which was a pretty decent spot there. I believe Dominic might have got to the ropes during that one. Eventually, we get another spot where AJ Styles goes for the calf crusher, but this is right before Dominic starts unzipping his boot. And when I saw this spot, I knew it was coming. I'm like, please don't copy that spot that Eddie did in his match with Kurt Angle from WrestleMania 20. And guess what? They did it. And this actually played into the finish. So AJ pulls off Dominic's boot. I think we get a ref distraction. Dominic eventually picks his boot up, whacks AJ with it, goes up for the frog splash. 1, 2, 3. I guess it was an okay match. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. I really just not need all the ripping off of Eddie Guerrero stuff. I don't like when they do that, man. That was special when Eddie did it. We don't need to do it again. The tribute was enough. I guess it was just an okay match. It was nothing worth bragging about. I did predict Dominic was going to win this match, but I thought he was going to need help from the Judgment Day. So at least I didn't predict everything about it. This takes us to our main event of the night. And what a main event this was. Champion John Cena put his title on the line against Cody Rhodes. This match was awesome. This match was awesome. Nice little entrance from Cody where he comes up from the ramp as usual with his mask on. That was a nice little intro. Cena comes out in a actual babyface entrance, which, I kind of thought he was going to be teasing us all there, but no, he came out and stayed babyface, man. Cody wanted that Cena, and he got him in this match. So what are our spots here? I believe there was we had a lot of the crowd booing Cody in this match in the early going. I know we got the match started with a hug. And there was no double crossing. They hugged. They went right into the action. And there was a spot where Cena took a crutch from that Tyrese guy in the crowd and used it as a weapon. With this being a street fight. Some fighting back and forth. Cody hit an early disaster kick. Some back and forth action. Cena does his typical 5 moves of doom. Boom, 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 boom. Went into the 5-knuckle shuffle. Tried to set Cody up for AA, but I believe Cody countered it with the clothesline. Got another Cody cutter. I believe Cody may have been going for the crossroads. Cena flips it into an AA. But, of course, Cody kicks out of this one. Some back and forth action we got going again. Cody hits a Cody cutter. Cena eventually hits another AA. Cody kicks out again. Oh, and another little fun spot here. Cody hits a pile driver, and the crowd yells out, "You can't do that." Hey, but he did it. So apparently Triple H must have okayed this spot. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen Randy Orton take it from Kevin Owens. We've seen Cody Rhodes take it from Kevin Owens. So, and I think Sami Zayn might even taken this spot. So it's not completely banned. They must be slowly allowing that move back. I mean, I feel like if you can do a Canadian Destroyer, you can do a damn pile driver. We got a pop-up powerbomb from Cody. That's not normal from Cody Rhodes. That's normally what we see from Kevin Owens. But, of course, Cena kicked out of that, too. Eventually, Cena hits his STF. Cody fights out. You know, that build up how that goes. They sell it for a little bit. And then they eventually get to the ropes, or they power out of it, whatever. John Cena hits the move kind of like Carmelo Hayes' where it's the nothing but net, the top rope leg drop over the neck. Cody kicks out of that. Eventually, we get another AA from John Cena. Cody kicks out yet again. John Cena goes for another AA on a table, but Cody turns it into a DDT. Nice back and forth action. And then we get a really fun spot on the entrance ramp where John Cena actually comes up like when Cody makes his entrance from the ground, and all you see is Cena carrying Cody. Eventually walks him over to the middle of the ramp, hits him with the AA. That was a nice little spot. And there was actually smoke coming up from the ramp when this spot was going on. These two make their way back to the ring. We get a quick little corner table bump to John Cena from Cody Rhodes. Let's see, we got that. Then Cody hits a crossroads. Cena kicks out again. I'm kind of losing count here how many finishers we done kicked out of. We get 3 crossroads in a row eventually. That's the same move that beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania to win Cody the title, but guess what? Cena kicks out of it. We go back and forth again. John Cena hits Cody with the AA, rolls it into another AA, picks him up, puts him in the corner, sets him on the top rope. We get an AA from the top rope. Guess what? 1, 2, nope. Cody kicks out. So we're getting a Super Cena and a Super Cody here. Now this is kind of when we start to tease Cody Rhodes going heel. He's getting frustrated. He can't put Cena away. I'm thinking Cody's going heel here. Doesn't happen. There's a lot of spots in here where Cody eventually puts down the weapon, does this and that. I think for a finish, I believe it seems like maybe Cena's going to hit Cody with the title or something. I can't remember if he changes his mind or what happens. I know Cena goes for another AA. I think Cody blocks it. This leads into... I'm trying to remember how we get to this finish here. However we get to this finish, I don't remember. I do know that Cody eventually hits one more crossroads, and this actually is the end of the match. Cody Rhodes hits that finisher one more time. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is your new WWE champion. This match was awesome. I am going to give this match 5 stars. I think this is what their match at WrestleMania should have been. Without all the teasing like somebody's going to go heel, because obviously Cena was the heel at that match at WrestleMania, so we couldn't have done that there. This match was everything it should have been at WrestleMania, though. Cena actually hands the title to Cody Rhodes. Hugs him. These two have a nice little talk in the ring. But my only problem with this spot was the last time this happened, Cody got kicked in the groin. And he's trusting Cena to hug him again. But whatever, I guess you gotta send people home happy. Cena obviously is back to being a babyface. Cody eventually gets out of the ring with the belt. I feel like we're gonna end our night with the thank you Cena, all this stuff. And that's how it's going for a while, and then out of nowhere, to my surprise, we hear the theme music of Brock Lesnar. You heard that right. Brock Lesnar returned tonight at SummerSlam. Much to Cena's surprise. There's a little bit of a stare down there. Brock Lesnar gets into the ring. I believe Cena actually takes the first swing. Brock Lesnar ducks, hits him with the F5. This is how we close night 2 of SummerSlam. This show was awesome. The matches delivered. The finish, unpredictable. This is how you top your first night of an event. So my overall rating for SummerSlam, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved this show. And I will probably be rewatching this show again. This match was awesome. I can't wait to see where we go from here tomorrow night on Raw, and pretty much all the way up to the next pay-per-view. I'm going to be looking forward to it, y'all. I was very satisfied with this night, and curious to know what you guys thought of SummerSlam Night 2. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Let me know in the comments.